I want to make some little insert shells to make a shell of shells out of a 6" or a 5" or something, and these casings are 1.5 inch and they're about, when the end disc is put on the other end and folded over, they'll be 2 inches long, so they're 1.5 by 2. And because the shell casing is so small, I don't fuse it like this with the support tubing. I just fuse it, put the cross-matched end of the fuse through, glue it into the end disc here. These end discs are normally 1/8 inch, and I've just got a cutter blade and slice them in half. I don't really want a 1/4 inch of end disc on the end of these little shells, so these two 1/8 inch discs are just fine. I'm using £70 paper. I've just got some offcuts which I'm going to use up. You can roll these out of £30 or £40 is the usual caliper of paper to make these little insert shells. I'm just putting 2 turns on, and again I put just a little strip of paper down the side to hold it together. Now rather than slip the former off now and try and get the end disc in, I don't want to trap the pieces of cross match between the end of the former. I want them to go into the hole. You need a reasonably large size hole in the end of your former, the recess. It needs to be about 1/2 to 3/4 inch to be able to get your cross match and the fuse in there. So I just plonk it down there, and I bend the pieces of match down inside the hole, and then hopefully I can just slide the former up over the disc. Again, no glue. There's only two layers here, so I just pleat them down in one go. Pop the other end disc on. A couple of tabs of gum paper just to keep it together till I fill it, and she's done. You can see inside the cross match fuse in there, I think. If I remember correctly, I've got about 1.5 seconds timing on these little inserts, just long enough for them to spread out into a ring before they burst. Now, I like to trim the cases off just to get all the cases the same height to start with before I start to fill them and fold the other end over, because when they go in a ring inside the shell, you want them all to come up to the same height. And as my casing is 2 inches, I'm going to fill it 1 3/4 inches high. So I just take a pen and I just mark on the inside of the case. I just put a mark in there 1 3/4 way up the inside of the case, just on 2 sides of it. And then when I come to fill the case, I know that they're all going to be filled to the same level.